Can intelligence triumph over talent in a high-level match? Carlos Alcaraz, the young Spanish tennis prodigy, proved it in Rome by reaching his first final in the tournament, showing that not all victories are built on brilliance. Sometimes, what's needed is composure, adaptability, and a cool head. In a match marked by wind and crowd pressure, Alcaraz defeated Italian Lorenzo Musetti and delivered a lesson in tactical maturity. How was he able to prevail in such an adverse environment? Today we'll tell you everything about his victory, his strategy, and what lies ahead in his career. Carlos Alcaraz faced, in the semifinals of the Rome Masters 1000, a scenario that for many young players could have been a nightmare: tricky wind, a strong opponent, and a stadium fully backing the local player. But instead of being overwhelmed, the Mercian chose a different strategy. "It wasn't a day to play brilliant tennis, but smart tennis," he said after the match, a phrase that perfectly sums up his performance. He knew how to read every moment and act with a clear head, not letting emotions or environmental pressure take over. The result was a solid 6-3, 7-6 win over Musetti, who fought hard, spurred on by the crowd. Alcaraz acknowledged that the crowd was backing the Italian, as expected, but also appreciated the respectful way they treated him. "They were respectful to me," he said, highlighting the passion of the Italians but also their fair play. This mix of pressure and respect added another layer to a match already emotionally intense. Mentally, Alcaraz took a giant step forward. Instead of going for spectacular shots, he focused on consistency, minimizing errors, and attacking only when it was safe to do so. That approach allowed him to maintain his level even when the weather conditions made ball control difficult. The wind, an invisible yet decisive enemy, forced both players to adapt, but it was the Spaniard who did it best. That maturity is surprising for someone his age and is proof of his evolution. This victory not only takes him to his first final in Rome, but also marks a turning point in his relationship with the tournament. Until this year, he had barely recorded a win in the Italian capital. "Rome was a tournament I hadn't really come to," he admitted, making this run to the final even more significant. His connection with the crowd and the court has strengthened, and that could make all the difference in the future. Beyond his technical performance, Alcaraz displayed great emotional control. He knew when to slow down, when to accelerate, and how to stay strong when the match got tough. This mental management, more than any flashy shot, was the key to his success. The experience he's gaining in such demanding settings is quickly turning him into a much more complete and dangerous player. Now, his attention turns to Sunday's final, where he could face Jannik Sinner, the current world #1 and his great generational rival. "I have to be prepared for both," said Alcaraz, also referring to Tommy Paul, the other semifinalist. Regardless of his opponent, one thing is clear: the Spaniard is ready for the challenge and to enjoy every moment of this new opportunity. More than the result, Alcaraz's match in Rome gave us a clear display of how his game has matured. Instead of forcing risky plays or constantly going for showy shots, the Spaniard focused on the essentials: playing solidly, staying focused, and seizing every opportunity with intelligence. This evolution speaks not just to his technical ability, but also to his mental development as a competitor. Throughout the match, Musetti tried to impose his rhythm with the unconditional support of the Italian crowd. However, Alcaraz was not intimidated. He kept his composure during tense moments, especially in the second set tiebreak, where he sealed his victory with poise. This calmness in closing matches is something he's been working on in recent months and is becoming one of his greatest strengths on tour. The Spaniard's emotional connection with Rome has grown significantly after this week. In his own words, he described it as wonderful and very beautiful, and didn't hide his excitement about reaching his first final there. Valuing the environment and enjoying the process is also part of his playing philosophy, something that sets him apart from many players of his generation. That ability to enjoy the journey, even in tournaments where he previously didn't shine, gives him a key emotional advantage. Alcaraz was also aware that every detail counts when competing at that level. He mentioned the importance of taking the rest day before the final to prepare mentally and physically. His maturity in managing time and energy reveals a strategic vision that goes far beyond what one expects from someone his age. He's not just a precocious talent, he's an athlete who thinks and plans each step with precision. As the big final approaches, the attention of fans and media focuses not only on his performance, but on the potential rivalry with Sinner. Both represent the future of world tennis, and their possible clash in Rome promises to be a spectacle. Alcaraz has already made it clear that he's ready to face anyone, even with the added pressure of the Italian crowd if that duel with the world #1 comes to pass. In this way, Carlos Alcaraz has achieved more than just a victory. He's shown that he knows how to adapt, grow, and control matches with intelligence. This win in Rome is more than just a step towards the title, it's confirmation that his tennis, beyond its sparkle, is built on a solid, tactical, and mental foundation that is taking him straight to the top of the sport. Carlos Alcaraz has shown that in modern tennis, it's not enough to hit hard or make dazzling shots. His run in Rome gives us a valuable lesson. The true champion is the one who knows how to read the match, adapt to conditions, and play smart. His win over Musetti is proof that intelligence on the court can make all the difference. With the final just around the corner and the possibility of an epic clash with Jannik Sinner, Alcaraz is preparing not just to compete, but to enjoy the moment. His maturity, mental strength, and humility make him an elite contender and an example for the new generation. Can a single warrior stop an entire empire? At the Rome Masters 1000, Italy has bet everything on a dream final between its two brightest gems, Jannik Sinner and Lorenzo Musetti. But between them and glory stands a gigantic obstacle. A Spartan named Carlos Alcaraz. The young Mercian is facing a true battle, to win on the hostile ground of the Foro Italico, with a stadium fully behind the rival and an entire country dreaming of a local victory. Can Alcaraz crash the Italian party? Let's find out. Italy is living a golden moment in men's tennis. With figures like Matteo Berrettini, Fabio Fognini, and a promising group of young players, the Italians have consolidated themselves as a modern power in the sport. But what has truly ignited the national fire has been Jannik Sinner's rise to world number 1 and the recent explosion of Lorenzo Musetti. Both are among the world's top 8 and have made the Rome Masters 1000 their turf. But someone is still willing to challenge them, Carlos Alcaraz. The Mercian represents the last great hope of Spanish tennis on the circuit. With Nadal out of action and no clear successor in sight, everything falls on his shoulders. While Alejandro Davidovich, Jaume Munar, or Pedro Martinez seek consistency, it's Carlitos who carries the flag, and he does it with grit. In Rome, after 2 weeks of intense matches, his path to the final reads like an epic script, defeating an entire Italian armada in their own backyard. And he's doing it with intelligence, physical strength, and above all, a lot of personality. The semi-final against Musetti is not just another match. It's a clash of styles, emotions, and nationalities. Musetti comes in with a spectacular clay season, finalist in Monte Carlo, semi-finalist in Madrid, and now a protagonist in Rome. He's one of the hottest names on tour and plays in front of his people. Alcaraz already beat him in Monte Carlo, but this stage is different. The pressure will be immense, the crowd will give no respite, and every point will be a war. But if anyone is used to fighting in hostile environments, it's Alcaraz. And it's not just Musetti. If he gets past the player from Carrera, most likely waiting in the final will be Jannik Sinner, the current world number 1. After overcoming his doping suspension, the man from San Candido has returned stronger than ever. His level of tennis is overwhelming, as he showed against Casper Ruud. For many, this tournament seems made to crown Sinner in front of his people, but there's still one piece left on the board, the Spanish Spartan. Alcaraz already made his combative approach clear after a previous match, when he signed the camera with a quote from the movie 300. More than ever, he sees himself as Leonidas, a warrior fighting alone against an army. And right now, Spanish tennis has only one standard bearer, and he carries that flag with pride. It won't be easy, the pressure, the crowd, and 2 of the best players in the world await him. But his strength lies in his resilience and ability to adapt to any challenge. This tournament is not only a chance to win another title, but a symbol of resistance against the new Italian hegemony. Because Rome, this time, is dressed in green, white, and red, but there's still a corner of that land that could be painted red and yellow if Carlos Alcaraz manages to prevail. Everything is set for an epic final that could mark a before and after in the modern Spanish-Italian tennis rivalry. Italy, which has historically had a stable presence in tennis, has found in 2025 a true renaissance. It's no longer just a country with several players in the top 100, it's now the great talent factory of the circuit. With constant victories, young depth, and a passionate fan base, their dominance in Rome seems inevitable. However, when everything points to a local celebration, Carlos Alcaraz appears, ready to rewrite history with an iron fist and racket in hand. His journey hasn't been easy. He arrived in Rome without great expectations, with a modest history in the tournament, but he's proven that he's ready for any challenge. His victory over Musetti in Monte Carlo was just a preview of the tension now being felt. Because this match in Rome isn't just about points or prestige, it's about pride. It's the kind of match that defines careers and makes headlines, the one that separates the good from the legendary. On the other side of the draw, Jannik Sinner waits with the confidence of someone who feels invincible. His tennis is solid, his mindset is steel, and his return after the controversy has been almost cinematic. For many, the tournament is designed to crown him before his home crowd. But if destiny has other plans, they necessarily involve Alcaraz. A possible clash between the two best young players on the planet seems inevitable, and if it happens, it could become one of the most symbolic showdowns of the year. Alcaraz is not only fighting for the title but to uphold the legacy of Spanish tennis in a transitional era. Spain, which for years dominated the clay courts, now depends almost entirely on him. With Nadal out of the picture and no clear next generation to support him, his role takes on even greater meaning. He's not just another player, he's the last line of defense against a new era led by Italy. The Foro Italico, home of this historic tournament, has become hostile ground. The Italian Federation, owner of the event, has set everything up for a complete celebration. But sometimes, the best stories need a villain, or rather, an unexpected hero. And there stands Carlitos, challenging the crowd, the system, the narrative. Not with arrogance, but with work, talent, and a defiant smile. Thus, the duel between Alcaraz and the Italian Armada has taken on epic tones. It's not just about winning a trophy, it's about staking a claim, defying the trend, and proving that there's still room for another champion. If he manages to triumph in Rome, Carlos Alcaraz won't just take home the title, he'll also earn a place among the great warriors of tennis. Because not everyone can enter the lion's den and emerge with their head held high. Carlos Alcaraz isn't just competing at the Rome Masters 1000, he's facing an empire. While Italy unleashes its full power with Sinner and Musetti, the young Spaniard has emerged as a lone warrior who doesn't fear the challenge. His journey in Rome has become a true battle, and his attitude, more than ever, is that of a Spartan who never gives up. Whatever the result, Alcaraz has made it clear that he's ready to face the future of tennis, even if that future speaks Italian. His fight is not just athletic, it's a symbol of resistance, pride, and courage. And as long as there's a single point left to play, Carlitos won't surrender. Will Carlos Alcaraz be the unexpected hero to stop the Italian dominance in Rome? Can he crash the party in front of a whole stadium? We want to know your opinion. Leave us a comment, give it a like if you believe in lone warriors too, and don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling tennis stories. See you at the next battle.